if there is a segment of fishing in general that presentation matters as much or more than anything, it has to be ice fishing, right? Because once you're there, they have longer to look at it than anybody. And to me, the addition of, I guess, I don't know what Clam's technical name for him is, but a fly style reel, right? I mean, explain, tell the people there that don't really understand what that's doing for you. I mean, it's essentially, in very extreme layman's terms, it's taking spin out, but tell us the philosophy, because we've got a couple new reels with Clam.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with fly reels, have been for a long time. I mean, we pioneered that concept when I worked at Thorne Brothers. I'm sure you know of Pat Smith, Ross. He's been for a long time. But there was days back in the Thorne Brothers days when I worked there, 15 years, 20 years ago, where we were going to the Fly Angler, which is a fly fishing shop attached to Thorne. And we'd take these reels and put them on these ice fishing rods. And we got just the dumbest looks. Why would you put a fly fishing reel on an ice fishing rod? It's a 1-to-1 gear ratio or whatever. Or maybe you got a multiplier that's 2-3-to-1. Why would you do this? And Pat Smith was big on zero line twist. I'm trying to target the most finicky fish in the water system any time of the year, being big bluegills. And they come in slow. They don't want to eat anything. If that jig spins at all, if it does anything unnatural, if you cannot have complete control of that offering, you're not going to get bit. So he was doing this long before any company on the market was marketing a fly fishing reel or spooler reel to ice. It didn't exist for multiple years. And the problem back then was, if anyone that fly fishes, you probably have an audience that fly fishes, I'm assuming as well, they weren't cheap. The cheapest fly fishing reel 20 years ago was $59.99. And for ice fishermen, you tell an ice angler 15, 20 years ago that you're going to spend $60 on a reel to go ice fishing. They didn't care who they were. They looked at you cross-eyed and they thought you were trying to sell them a bag of goods. So obviously we've come a long ways. Every brand out there now has fly-type reels, spooler reels. But to me, there's multiple reasons to use them. Ross nailed one of them, line twist. That line comes straight down. It doesn't come off a spool of your spinning reel. It comes straight down and it comes straight back on. Drag doesn't inflict line twist. Retrieving doesn't inflict line twist. Dropping the bait down, yada, yada, yada. It fishes the jig straight. And also, in my mind, one of the more important things, or two important things, is one, it slows down the way we fish. We are fast-paced people. That's the way we live. We want to bomb down. You drop your locator in the water, and you see a fish in 24 feet of water, 4 feet up. You want to just bomb it down to that fish. Well, the way I look at it is you're dropping something extremely fast onto a fish, and that fish, you can see it on your locator. If you're good enough with watching your flasher, you see that mark quiver when that bait comes down, because that fish is going like this. It's looking up. I now have to drop the line out, and I use this type of reels that you have to pull up by hand. I'm not using the free fall reels. You push the button still and it drops back down. I'm using the one you're pulling up by hand. I'm working that entire water column. I'm slowing down the way I fish. I think as anglers, we miss so many fish. If you're targeting fish in under 20 feet of water, which is 80% of the time I fish through the ice, and you're not fishing that first 10 feet of the water column, you are making a drastic mistake. These 1-to-1 and 2-3-to-1 gear ratio spool reels force you to slow down on a fish retrieve.
That's a good point.
Ability to play the fish out, land the fish out, protect the fish, bring them up. So you're even watching walleye anglers right now running these 2-3-to-1 gear ratio fly reels. There's no reason you can't catch a walleye with them. Put 6-pound test on. The drake systems are great. But I noticed that it makes me fish slower. And man, I think it drastically increases how many fish you catch using that type of reel.
I agree. And the whole pull-out thing, because if there's a guy that's on speed, it's me. I just can't slow down with anything. But I think, I do like the trigger style things I've been trying to kind of work them into some walleye stuff with some dead stick things that I've been doing. But with perch fishing, I really like the trigger deal, because sometimes we're fishing, often for me anyhow, pretty deep, and it's just easier. But forcing yourself to slow down is absolutely an important thing to do. I think just about with whatever you're doing in fishing. Most people are going too fast.